Hey guys, it's October. I'm doing my next installment of the Yaoi Corner. The next story I'm going to do is called Bad Teacher's Equation by Kazuma Kadoka, the same mangaka that does Kizuna. So here's volume 1. It is of the thicker volumes from June. And there's volume 2. Volume 3. Volume 4. Just move these down. And then the final volume, volume 5. Okay, so there is a total of 10 volumes in this series in the Japanese editions. This series was originally started in 1993, 1 year after Kizuna, and it concluded in 2002. So I'm just going to go through the characters that you can see on the books here. So this is the main character. His name is Atsushi Arisawa. And then this is Masayoshi, Inagaki, Masami, and Toru. And then these two again are Masayoshi and Arisawa. So I'm going to take down these ones. I'll leave that. Oops. Okay. Book down. And this one. Okay. Alright, so Bad Teacher's Equation. So when I was first reading the series, I wasn't too into it. I read the first 2 actual books of the June publishing, so that's 1 through 4. It took me quite a while to get through them, because the story plot just really wasn't there in the first few books. It's a generic little story for yaoi. Well, it started off generic for me. It's the whole little boy or high school boy is in love with his tutor or school teacher. So Arisawa is actually a very smart young man who could have went to any high school of his choosing. He decided to go to this one because he heard that one of his tutors when he was younger, Masami, or Machan, was a school nurse at the school. So he decided to enroll in the school, and he went on the manhunt to find Masami. And instead of Masami, he ended up running into Toru, who is a teacher at the school, and Masayoshi, who is the current nurse at the school. Machan used to be the nurse, but he left to become a novelist. So Arisawa thought that Masayoshi was Machan for the first volume, and when he found out, he, I guess, somehow magically came to the conclusion that he was no longer in love with Masami, who is actually Masayoshi's older brother, but he was in fact in love with Masayoshi. And there goes the entire story plot of Arisawa telling Masayoshi every day that he's in love with him, but Masayoshi is straight and not interested in guys or having a relationship with Arisawa. And so that is one of the main story plots, is these two. The second story plot would be Masami and Toru. Masami and Toru knew each other because Toru was Masayoshi's friend in high school, and he had a crush on Masami ever since before he graduated, since he thought Masami was actually Masayoshi's sister. Because he's apparently very feminine, he looks just like their mother, and Toru was completely confused and was in love with him. So it moves on into how their whole story of them being able to be together and their conflicts of being a gay couple and coming out to their families. And their story is just very sweet, and it's just about them having been together for so long and finessing their relationship before they moved on to the next level of actually being an intimate relationship. So, like I was saying, the first 2 volumes, so 1 through 4 of the Japanese volumes and 1 and 2 of the June published books, I found I hate to say it, but I did find them very boring. 1, 2, and volume 3 have a lot of the old art style that you'd see usually in the beginnings of the Kizuna volumes, due to the fact that it was from 1993 and onward, but there's a lot of mullets, a lot of mullets, and it's just, there was no, like, deep story, there was no full-on character development, a lot of tuxedo ears, and lots of shine on the hair, but I loved how once I got past the first 2 books, because like I said, those took me the longest, the 3, 4, and 5 I read in like 2 days. I just was hooked by the story by then because they finally got into more character developing of the characters, and they were more getting deeper into them as people and not just a yaoi couple here and there, and that they were actually showing deep concern. Masayoshi was then acknowledging Arisawa more and his antics of being in love with him as a young kid and to being in love with him as almost an adult graduating high school. That's the main thing that I love about this series, is that you have a progression. It's not just a one-shot to where they could do a time warp in like 2 pages where it's been 1 day and then 2 years later they're still together, but you don't have the whole graduation of how they got from A to B. This one you do get it, along with the progressing of her art style, which I absolutely love. I loved watching that when I was reading Gravitation, and I loved seeing it a lot in her Kizuna work. And now this one, it's just she has a little excerpt at the end that she wrote that she was really happy, saying that this is one of her first boy love mangas that let her progress into where you can actually see them growing up and becoming certain people, and that it was one of the first BL mangas that she was able to do that in this category. And I love that she added that little excerpt into the June mangas. I'm not sure, because it did say that it was for the re-release of the mangas, but I'm not sure if it was in the actual Japanese ones that they re-released. So, Bad Teacher Equation, I would give it a 4 out of 5 stars once you get to volume 3, 4, and 5. Because the storyline is just so much better once you get to 3, 4, and 5. So, about 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, you're golden with the storyline. It's just the beginning arc where she's still figuring out who the characters are, how they're going to act, and how they're going to be portrayed is the beginning part, which is kind of hard. They are parental advisory on every single one. I believe you only need the parental advisory on 4 and 5, because 1, 2, and 3, nothing happens. It's just learning the characters. And no, 4 and 5 is when the characters start actually getting the whole, I'm a yaoi book, and I am actually going to be 18 and up once 4 and 5 hit. 2 is on the floor, so I'm sorry. So yeah, so Bad Teacher's Equation, I would highly recommend this for a beginning yaoi reader because of the story plot. It is a 10-volume manga, or 5 if you get the June publishing. It is a wonderful read. I really do recommend this. If you have a chance to read it, definitely do, and you won't be disappointed. Alright, you guys, this was the Yaoi Corner. I'm sorry that there was a hiatus, but I will be back with another video soon. Alright, bye!